Hello, everybody. Welcome to Take the Black Live, the weekly show where myself, Dan Selcke of winterscoming.net, and Mia Johnson of dorksideoftheforce.com and winterscoming.net talk through all things sci-fi, fantasy, movies, TV, so you get the information everyone else isn't willing to give you. And we are back here in the studio after a couple of weeks with special guests. If you're wondering, the reason that we do it remote is because we don't have the technology to kind of pipe in a guest and be in the studio. So whenever we're three people, it means that someone's on with us and they can't be physically here. That's a long explanation. You get it. And hello, everybody. Good to see you. Hey, Rodrigo. Hey, Julie. Hey, Rodrigo again. And Mia, I haven't seen you in the flesh in a couple of weeks. Did anything notable happen?
I did my hair last night. That happened.
It looks nice.
Thank you. That's probably the extent of it. Did anything happen to you?
Absolutely nothing.
Just the way we love it.
Yeah, I think so. Change is scary and terrifying. And hello, Christian. Although plenty of things did happen in the world of nerdery, and we should get talking about it immediately. I mean, actually, I'm not even lying. This was a huge week for lots of things coming out as pretty rapid fire. We have to start, as of course we must, on this Game of Thrones initiated podcast with some Game of Thrones news, or rather news about House of the Dragon, the upcoming Game of Thrones prequel series on HBO and HBO Max, coming sometime in 2022. I don't know why I'm trying to be all kind of an announcer about this, but I guess I am. Basically, we're having lots of set videos, and they released a new bunch of casting announcements.
Official, finally.
Official, yes. We knew some of these, but some of these we did not, so it's fun. We know who's going to play some of these characters, including Outlander veteran Graham McTavish, who is probably the biggest name of this group. I never actually seen him in anything, but I know he's a popular character who has a fantasy face, doesn't he?
He really
Don't you want
does.
that guy to be on a horse in some armor and saying thee and thou and stuff? I do.
He's got the face for it, and I'm really excited. I don't watch Outlander either, so I don't really know much about him or his character. I've just kind of have brushed up on him recently, but he looks fit for the part, whatever and whoever he is.
I mean, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Like, he's Queen Cersei. Like, yeah, I buy it. I could buy that. Anyway, he's playing Sir Harold Westerling. He is the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard under King Viserys Targaryen I. He's the captain of the guard.
Okay.
Again, kind of nice. So there aren't many just like nice people in this story who are just decent and trying to do the right thing. He's one of them. He's a pretty good guy.
Okay.
So of course he dies early.
Was this one of the characters that we had?
We did.
Okay.
We did
don't you love
spy this gentleman on the set of House of the Dragon, and we did kind of deduce he was probably playing this guy.
Wow.
And we were right. It's good to be right. I mean,
Props.
let's be honest. Reddit was right, and we were also right with them. But yeah, good to know. Not a giant role, but it's cool. I also like that he's like the biggest celebrity, and I just like that there aren't a lot of giant celebrities. It's like Matt Smith, and that is it, which I think is fun.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm especially not super duper attached to this anyway. So anyone you cast, I would be like, okay, whatever. I can't imagine something like too huge, getting a huge celebrity rollout, and me being super excited about it. I think it's kind of.
Which I think why the internet reacted in mass hilarity when just the entire half of Hollywood was in the Super Mario movie over the weekend.
Yeah, that or the Netflix thing with Leonardo DiCaprio and like a bunch of other. I don't know if that's Helen Mirren in it, but it just looks really wacky, and it's like, why are all these people here?
Feels silly.
Yeah.
Like whenever they have that many people in one place, it's like they just kind of opened IMDb and said, I'll take it. Like that guy, that one, do that.
You know, the only thing I'll take that for is Knives Out, too. I think people are really excited for that. But it felt like they were being cast in the Avengers.
You can tell, can't you? You can kind of tell when, like, they cast somebody and, like, oh, you thought about that and, like, kind of got them. And then, like, with the Mario thing, like, you just threw people at a dartboard and just random people with, like, this many followers, and then you kind of called them up, didn't you? That's what it felt like there. As Julie says, he's very good in Outlander. He has a very broad Scottish accent, so it'll be good to hear him if he loses it. I'd love trying to please
Scotland Week.
Call about my accent. Call this number. We also got some other important characters. Ryan Corr as Sir Harwin Breakbones Strong. Too much? That is too much, yeah.
I'm sorry. That's a great
Sir
name.
Harwin Strong.
Okay.
God, that is a funny name. I said it out loud, yeah. They might have to tone some of this stuff down.
That's his real nickname, huh?
His real name is
Oh
Breakbones.
man,
Yeah.
with that face too. Oh man, wow, what a combination. What do we have? Who is this character, Dan?
Okay, so remember I've talked about Rhaenyra, daughter of the king, marries a gay guy because of politics, and then has a lover with whom she has 3 children who are probably not her gay husbands, but it's that guy's husband, that guy's children.
Okay.
He is Rhaenyra Targaryen's side piece.
Okay. Right. He's the reason why the children don't have
blonde Targaryen
wigs.
hair. Yes. The children
Party
don't have to
City
wear
wigs.
blonde wigs. Yeah.
Okay. You know
And
what?
apparently his name is hilarious. It's one of those things where, like, I read that name and it never really crossed me. Like, that's a stupid name. But then when you say it out loud, yeah, that's kind of dumb.
I'm just a fan of, and this is really niche for me when people have like middle nicknames, you know, kind of in the middle, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson is just so hilarious to me. I don't know why. It just is. So yeah, I mean, should be an interesting character. I don't know how involved he's going to be, you know, just because
He's involved-ish.
Okay.
Like, and he has a rivalry with the other. Remember the other dude, the Kristen Cole, the Kingsguard Knight, who was with Rhaenyra, and then they break up, and then he's all bitter about it for the rest of his life. Like, I think they fight at a duel, and one of them, I think Kristen hurt Sam really badly, but whatever.
It's hilarious. It's like every time you tell me about these characters, it's like 50 First Dates. It's like it all just slowly comes back
That's the
to
Game of
me.
Experience, man.
And then I forget it as soon as we leave. And then I remember it as soon as we come back next week.
50 First Dates. That is a fun deep cut. I like that one. Next we got... Oh, I did not... Okay. I mean, I guess I had a bunch. We got Bill Paterson as Lord Lyman Beesberry. We got a bunch of people here. Beesberry. Lord Lyman Beesberry. Hey,
worse, George R.
there
Martin,
are
J.K.
actual
Rowling?
British people with names that sound that silly, okay? There just are.
Yeah. It's funny. That is funny. I was looking at like a random London travel video last night because I like to watch travel videos. Like they do have some really silly, funny names. No.
Quanch Whistle,
Again, this
Bird
is
Fossil, that kind of thing.
can't even make it through the rest of the show. All right, Lord Beesberry.
Lord Beesberry.
Like Burberry, like the
Burberry, yeah.
jacket. Okay.
He has a fun bit. He's like an older, kind of calm guy on the King's Council, and he has a great scene. I'm just gonna tell you his death scene now because it's fun. He exists to die.
Okay.
He has this great bit where early on, it's like after the king dies, and then the whole thing is who succeeds him, right? And Rhaenyra is his daughter, and then Alicent is his second wife, and Alicent wants their son to succeed him. So when the king dies, Rhaenyra is away, like she's at her home on Dragonstone. So Alicent's there, and she's like, okay, she like gathers all the council members together in a room. She's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna crown my son as quietly as possible, and we're gonna get everything in order. So by the time we announce it, it'll be too late for Rhaenyra to do anything. Like that's my plan here. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, except for Lord Beesberry, who stands up and be like, are you people nuts? The king wanted his daughter to inherit. You're being freaking traitors. And then it literally becomes that meme where someone suggests something bad in a boardroom and it gets tossed out a window. Because Kristen Cole literally tosses him out the window and is basically like, any other objections? Anybody else want to crown Rhaenyra? No? Anybody? Going once, going twice? Great.
Wow.
Sold. We're going to crown this guy.
All right.
So he's like the first one to die in the war, technically.
Beesberry is the living meme. I will etch that
He
into
is
my
the living
memory.
meme. It's almost too easy.
I think we need you to, like, for my sake and maybe for everyone's sake, to record you saying all of this, you know, who each character is, how they all fit, put it on a VHS tape. And every morning when I wake up, yes, when I wake up, I'll play the tape. I'll remember everyone. I can get my stories on Winter's Coming and go to sleep, forget about it, play the tape all over the next day. It's great information.
It's great information. And like I highlighted those 3, but there are also other folk. I was going to read their names and see if they're funny or not. Okay, so we got Gavin Spokes as Lord Lionel Strong, who is Breakbones' dad.
When you put it like that.
Yes. Here's a good one. He got Matthew Needham as Larry's Strong, who is Breakbones' little brother.
Okay.
He does this thing sometimes where he like just, when Martin's like not in the mood to make a real fantasy name, he'll like take a normal name and just like change it just a little bit. Like there's a guy in the Game of Thrones called Kevan Lannister, like an Uncle Lannister, and he's like, That's just Kevin. You replaced an A for an I. That's all you did. And here it's like Larry's with a Y and an S.
Yeah, that's very Star Wars like. They started getting lazy. There is a character just straight up named Dan, and I was like, all right, what are we gonna do about it? Yeah. All right, who else?
Dan
Let's see.
Skywalker. Okay, we got that. We got David Horovich as Grand Maester Melos. All right, that's fine. Who's just like he's a even-handed temper kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then we have Jefferson Hall as twin brothers, Jason Lannister, straight up, and Tyland Lannister. Because you got to have Lannister twins. It's a Game of Thrones show, I guess.
Well,
it must run in their family.
I suppose so.
It could. I don't know how twins work. Genetics. It's very complicated. Mitosis.
Yeah. What are we listening? Oh, someone in our group was talking about having twins in their family.
Who?
Where they say who was they have twins like every other generation. Was that our dear friend?
Oh, someone was to have twins, like literally. Like, is it Matt?
I think it was our dear Cody Schultz, I think, dropping his name in there where he says they have twins every other generation. So maybe that's how the Lannisters
Any
work.
twins out there? How do you work? So yeah, that's some good information on House of the Dragon. It's exciting that they're filling out the cast. We got more stuff. I like that it's a big cast. I like that they're embracing the bigness.
Yeah.
Because that made Game of Thrones special. Like the almost impenetrable massiveness of it and all the people you had to remember. I thought it was important.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they seem to be taking that on again.
It makes me wonder like where the Stan accounts are going to merge from. I mean, obviously Emilia Clarke has got a huge following.
I mean,
lots
all
and lots
this
of
like
fans.
family crap I'm describing, I'm sure people will take sides. Like, are you with the gay husband Laenor? Are you with Breakbones? Are you Kristen Cole? Are you Team Rhaenyra? Are you Team Matt Smith, who she also gets with?
Ew. I'm going to be interested in following this specifically, like the whole Twitter reaction to each of these characters.
Me too. Because it could, like, be problematic really easily. But we'll see. It'll be fun. Church also got in a podcast, talk with it about a bit. Nothing really to say. There's 17 dragons coming to the show. That'll be nice. Lots of special effects. Good for it. I'm just looking forward to it. And probably more than any of the other big fantasy sci-fi shows coming up, I'm looking forward to this one the most. Okay, Mia, and everyone, you out there in internet land. Okay, you can choose one.
Oh.
Okay, Wheel of Time, House of the Dragon, The Lord of the Rings, those three.
Oh, out of 3?
Yeah.
Oh, Wheel of Time, House of Dragon, or Lord of the Rings. Ooh. You know what? I'm like almost leaning towards the Wheel of Time, but that's only because I've seen the trailer. And the trailer looks really interesting, and I really love Rosamund Pike. I would say House of Dragon would be second, so if they can one up that trailer, and then Lord of the Rings third, because I've seen the movies. I don't know. I'm sure Amazon will add something to the series, and it'll be great, but I'm not necessarily like super duper excited for it.
I'm curious. I mean, yeah, we'll see. And they're all coming out the same year. Oh, no, they're not. What time's coming out this year? It's going to be a big year, though, for this kind of thing. And we'll see if anything survives after it. All right. So that's what's happening in the corner of Westeros. Pretty exciting stuff. Good. Okay, next, in our rolling out of just huge news, Netflix held this event over the weekend called the... Where do you fall on Tudum as a name for the event?
I like Tudum.
Tudum?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Tudum?
That's what I liked it because it's the sound that
I don't think that's a good description. I don't think either one of them sounds like. I think it sounds like the Law and Order sound, like boom boom.
Well, to me, I thought it was supposed to be like ta-da, and I thought maybe it was an alternate spelling on ta-da, like here we have all this stuff to show you ta-da. But no, I think it's interesting. You start Netflix and it goes doo-doo, and then you start the show.
I get it.
So that's what that was based on. I don't think, maybe not necessarily clever, but maybe it'll catch on.
It's cute. But anyway, they announced a whole bunch of stuff. And I thought let's do this. Let's go through some of the big highlights. And you guys tell me how excited on a scale of 1 to 10 you are about these things. Because they're bringing it to you. Okay, the biggest one probably had to be for me. Netflix is going really hard on The Witcher, man.
Yeah.
They got season 2 of the show coming up. They showed off a bit of the live-action prequel Blood Origin. They're making another anime movie, and they're making a Witcher Kids show.
Oh.
That is 4 shows, all involving Witcher things.
Yeah.
And only 1 season out. Like, they are depending on this. It must be doing spectacularly. Like, they are really going to make this their bread and butter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because the reception to The Witcher is interesting because you had a lot of people go on and watching it. And, like, nonstop when it came out, everyone was talking about The Witcher. Like, fine, I'll watch The Witcher. And even though, yeah, like, even though it was not that great, or at least, you know, some people have their own opinions.
It was not that great.
I think Netflix just really wanted to go full steam ahead with this. Probably, I think they thought maybe it'd be more well received. And so they're like, we're just going to make it happen. Like, we're just going to keep going. We're going to make fetch happen. And you're going to get all the Witcher stuff you could possibly imagine.
I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's well received or not, right? I mean, like, Fast and Furious critics don't like those, but they keep making them because they're really, really popular. And that's fine. I just didn't think it would happen with that show. I honestly didn't. I didn't think this would be the one to blow up like this. Mm-hmm. But good for it. I'm not sure how to do a Witcher Kids show. There are some things it doesn't really, like, graft onto.
Yeah.
Like, that's a problem for these franchises, right? Like, The Walking Dead gets huge, and then what you want to do is, like, sell little lunch boxes to 6-year-olds, but you can't because the show has put so many people's faces off. Yeah. Same thing with The Witcher kind of thing.
Yeah, I was like, do they expect the kids to come in and watch the series beforehand? And why would they in the first place? Just so that they can watch the children's series? Or will the path kind of be paved? But then it sets up, it's like, oh, I like the Witcher cartoon series, so I'm going to watch the real one. And then, you know, they get a face full of everything that's going on in that.
Witcher babies. I love the show as a kid. I mean, one other quick, I had some other brilliant comment. I forgot what it was. Oh, well. Yeah, Witcher. Oh, I was going to say, that's why Disney is so careful to keep Marvel and Star Wars, like, just at, like, a soft PG-13 and never have it go any harder than that. Because they know the most money is from where you can keep it as kind of broadly appealing as possible.
Yeah.
So you can get the lunch boxes. And you can also get adults who are probably too old for it, like cosplaying and, like, battling and stuff. Like, you have to serve all the audiences.
Yeah.
You can make the money. Make the meme. We also got a scene from the 4th season of Stranger Things, which was pretty cool. It, like, had, like, a flashback to the 50s.
Yeah.
And black and white creepiness, and then it kind of cut to this, and they're at a haunted house. Yeah, Stranger Things is an interesting show because they have not franchised it out somehow, even though they've come this far. Mm-hmm. I get the idea that's because the guys behind it do seem like they're pretty passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to guess they've said no. And I'm going to guess Netflix has asked them about 30 cajillion times.
Yeah, because I wrote something.
And I think they're weakening.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wrote something up today where when the CEOs of Netflix was talking about potentially, like, maybe having a Stranger Things spinoff, because they were like, wow, you know, viewership for season 3 was through the roof, you know, and imagining what other possibilities there can be. And I was like, so why, you know, if they were so willing to put out The Witcher early and just greenlight all these spinoffs no matter what, why did it take Stranger Things so long to get a spinoff? And it's still not really confirmed. And I do have a suspicion that it is the Duffer Brothers.
I think
and
so,
they,
too. That's my suspicion.
They might have a thread of self-respect just to say, hey, we want to make what we want to make. We want to be self-contained. And we don't need an 11 spinoff. Or we don't need anything like that.
But, I mean, after a while, just the constant questions and also, like, the dump trucks of money keep going bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's sick and twisted. Come on, Netflix. First, you know, they, like, what was the other thing about? I've been on, like, a Netflix beat, kind of, where they had the free Netflix subscription for people in Kenya. And they were like, you know, we're going to offer you free subscription and, you know, you get to see the Netflix originals. But there's a catch because it's only, you know, a limited amount of content. And hopefully that means you're going to become a full subscriber. So, you know, the canvassing and campaigning never stops for Netflix, I suppose.
I mean, for any, like, thing that wants to grow, most of them.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the 4th season, though. It looks cool.
Oh, yeah, the 4th season for sure. Yeah.
It is in that sweet spot, though, Stranger Things, where it is like that kind of Star Wars Marvel thing where it is broadly appealing, you know? Because it's not too intense. I think, is there cursing on the show? I think a little bit. I think
so, yeah.
But not like a ton.
Yeah, you can be like a tween or so making out of this. It is kind of scary, more scary than some of the other things out there. But yeah, oh yeah, the thing I was gonna say was the going back in time to the 50s really interests me because it does feel like they're switching it up. We're not just stuck in the 80s or stuck in Hawkins. I know they want to have like this Russian prison thing too with
Oh, right.
yeah,
Siberia.
David Harbour's character. So we'll see. I obviously I fade in and out of liking Stranger Things just because it's like it,
It's
it's
not my
been 2 years.
favorite.
Yeah.
But it's I respect it.
Exactly,
It's well done. And as Christian says, he wants to peddle the bastard's lunchbox. I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Not for my kid, for me. Carry it around. Look what I got.
Taking it to the office.
We also get a trailer for Vikings Valhalla, the next Viking follow-up. Interesting story there, because Vikings was on History, and it blew of all things.
yeah.
And now Netflix gets the sequel, which is set like 100 years later with different, like, sort of historical figures, like kind of doing real historical things, but not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun kind of early post Game of Thrones show with boats and armor and history. It was not very historical,
unquote,
but
yeah.
it was fun. It was a good show. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, I mean, you kind of watch anime sometimes.
Here and there.
You
Yeah.
watch Cowboy Bebop?
I did not, but I did watch the preview that they let out, and I think the only
The live action credits.
yeah,
things.
the only thing that I know of Cowboy Bebop is when I would watch Adult Swim at night, and eventually Cowboy Bebop would come on, and I would hear the theme, and I'd be like, "Oh, that is such an awesome theme," but I would never watch it past that. So it was kind of weird watching the live action trailer that they released and hearing that theme because it felt nostalgic, but
Right.
I wasn't
That's
nostalgic for the
interesting, yeah.
characters. I was just like, "Oh yeah, this is that thing. I love that thing." But not
It
really.
looks interesting. I rewatched the show recently, just kind of, I don't know, it was like easy to watch, and I'm like, why not? And that little preview they had, they were so much slower and like kind of less animated.
Yeah.
It is a weird thing. Like, if you're gonna like make a live action thing out of an animated thing, I feel like they might be shooting themselves in the foot by like trying to go for the exact same thing because you're not gonna. It's like it's too different. But we'll see what happens with
Yeah.
that. I'll be curious. I'll probably watch the first one of those
Yeah.
and see how it goes. But yeah, interesting swing there. How about this? Tiger King 2.
Yeah,
Coming up.
a bit of surprise,
You
but
tell
also
me, 'cause I didn't
not.
know this one. So what is it even about?
Tiger King 2. That's a good, I just saw the headlines and I'm not even quite sure what they do want to say about Tiger King 2 because the guy is
Joe Exotic is now in prison,
yeah,
but
Joe
maybe
Exotic
he
has
got
gone
out.
to prison and I'm trying to like speed through, this new trailer. It's coming November 17th already. So, yeah, I'm like, I don't necessarily know what they have to offer in terms of adding to this story, adding to maybe the phenomenon of Tiger King.
Carol Baskin,
Carol
they go Dance with the Stars.
Baskin.
They can cover that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. So I think it might be more on the
Also,
phenomenon.
Team Carol here.
Ooh, you're in defense of Carol.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad she killed him.
Carol Baskin. What was that TikTok dance that they had?
I didn't know the TikTok dance.
Oh, it's something. But I guess I'm looking forward to it. I think Tiger King was just this weird thing where it was like right at the beginning of the pandemic, we were
Yeah, it blew
going
up, didn't it?
insane in our homes, watching Tiger King, melting our brains, and this was just like we had nothing better to do. So I'm interested to see how this plays out now that our lives have moved on and maybe Tiger King isn't what the country needs anymore.
We'll see. I'm predicting failure.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Another one that you're excited about, speaking of Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, she'll be coming back for Enola Holmes 2, playing the little
Yeah.
sister of Henry Cavill's
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love the first movie. It was really charming and Millie Bobby Brown has never been an actress that I've been like super duper fanatic about. I just, happened to be okay with her. But when I saw her in this, she was really, really good. I really appreciated her role. I loved Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes. And so I did, and this is a young reader series.
Sure.
But I bought the books anyway, so I need to read the second book because I kind of want to be like, ooh, I'm ahead of the pack, and I know what's going on.
Oh, that's the movie. It's like the next book's being adapted.
I actually don't know because in the teaser, the boy who plays Lord Tewksbury, another English
British.
name, yeah, said he was returning. And I thought the story moves on from him in the books. So we'll see how that plays out. I thought he was a cool guy anyway. So if they want to bring him back, I'm like, sure, I'm not faithful to Enola Holmes like that, but I'll watch it anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's Google stupid British names. AKA. Well, these aren't bad. Ian? This isn't stupid. Anga, Rupert, Daphne. There we go. Okay, I'm done.
What are you looking at? Enola Holmes?
No, I just Googled dumb British names. And I think they're wrong. These are mostly fine. Shep, Bert, Gertrude, Donald, Rufus. This is insulting. Cuthbert. There, that's a weird one. Okay. Tread? Oh, I like that one. Tread Baxby. Cricket captain.
I mean, well, nothing tops my dear Benedict Cumberbatch, so that one
true.
always is in my heart.
Benedict Cumberbatch sounds like a region of medieval England that everyone thought was better left to the past. Also a talented actor. Okay, anyway, and my personal favorite thing to come out of the Netflix Tudum event was the teaser for The Sandman, which is Neil Gaiman's graphic novel back from the 80s and 90s. That is, I don't remember his name, some dumb British name, sure.
That's the Thomas guy, isn't it? It's always a 50-50 chance.
Thomas guy? Tom Sturridge. Yes, Tom Sturridge as Dream. Always a hard thing to explain Sandman, but it's like it's a phantasmagoric trip through time, space, history, the present, the human heart, the human mind, where it's about a group of anthropomorphic personifications of different aspects of the human condition, such as dream, death, desire, destruction, the whole gang. And they just kind of go on very internal, thinky, but also very kind of wild and wacky and funny adventures too.
Okay.
And it has a through line. It's very conceptually ambitious. I'm very curious. It kind of goes like all over the place. Like it's very there's a through line, but it's also serialized. Like some of like the most famous or most popular stories are like there's one where they go back to Shakespeare times, and you learn that he was inspired to write Midsummer Night's Dream by literal dream, and they have like literal fairy folk come to watch the inaugural performance, which is fun. A great one is a serial killer convention where there's a famous, I'm not keep saying famous, like these are famous people, character, a serial killer who has like eyes, teeth, mouths for eyes, who escapes from the dreaming realm. Ooh. It's just really, really dense and cool, but also like fun. It has some humor about itself. So it's a tall undertaking. Like this, like we say like the Lord of the Rings or House of the Dragon or Wheel of Time are like ambitious, and they are. From like a pour money into this perspective, because there are 17 dragons who have to animate. Like this is more like it's gonna be hard to get your hands around the writing and the production of this. From like, what the hell do you even put on the screen? What do you leave off? But I'm looking forward to it a lot because it is. I like seeing ambition. I like seeing people take big swings. And Charles Dance from Game of Thrones is in it as Tywin Lannister. Stephen Fry is in it as a sailor's dream made flesh.
Stephen Fry being a dream. What a guy.
A sailor's dream.
Okay.
Fiddler's dream. Okay. And a lot of other actors are in it. Oh, Gwendolyn Christie is Satan.
Yeah.
Lucifer. That'll be fun. So, yeah, really interesting. And I'm curious to see how this is going to go. That's probably the thing I'm most excited for on Netflix over the next, year. Definitely above any of all this. Does any of that do anything for you?
The trailer looked really good. High quality again.
Yeah.
Like with this finally being produced, him having the confidence for someone, in the year 2021 to finally make the Sandman. I have high hopes for it. Yeah, I have high hopes. I don't know how wacky and crazy it gets, but I do trust that they can pull through.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that very much. Just out of curiosity, purely. And if it's great, then awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So another huge thing that happened, like in a week, full of them. Mia, take it away. What's happening in the world of? We're just going all British this week, aren't we? Okay.
We're going British again. We're going over to the BBC, the Beeb, and talking about some Doctor Who news because Doctor Who straight up announced this past week that original showrunner Russell T Davies is going to be taking over again. which just seems so out of the blue. They were like,
it feels like the kind of thing fans dream about and
Yeah.
write about on Twitter, like happened.
yeah, you're always like, Russell T Davies needs to come back. Stephen Moffat and Chris Chibnall are awful. I wish, things were, and BBC was like, okay, it's done. And you're like, oh.
This guy is the guy who kick-started Doctor Who back in 2005 when it came back after decades off the air, or a decade and change.
Right, yeah, they had like a failed, I don't know if it was a TV movie or something in the 90s, and they were probably like, who needs Doctor Who? And then Russell T Davies came back for, the brand new season 1 with Christopher Eccleston and Billy Piper. And yeah, that was, I was telling you, I think this was like one of the first shows that I binged watched.
Yeah, you were Doctor Who.
It was on Netflix. I was in high school. And I was really like, okay, I was super against watching Doctor Who because I have a friend. I love this friend to death, but she would talk about it. And it just seemed so nerdy to me. And I guess I was trying to hide. I was like, I don't want to be a nerd. I don't want to be associated with these things. Please, I just want to be in.
Now you're on a podcast literally about nerd TV
Exactly.
things.
So, yeah, I gave it a try. I watched a couple episodes here and there, and I was just really captivated by it. Because it was really wacky. Like, yeah, you've got cats who are running a hospital, and you've got a lady who's, just a sheet of skin who needs to be moisturized.
I remember that.
Lady Cassandra. So it's like, it was so weird and wacky, but then like underneath it all, you start seeing, okay, he's building up, like, for example, you start seeing Bad Wolf everywhere, and you're like, why does that keep popping up? And then that gets resolved. Or you have that emotional finale with like Rose and the Doctor, and they get like left behind in a different dimension.
I recall that, yeah.
And you're like, whoa, right in the fields, man. So yeah, I think that whatever Russell T Davies brought in his first, I had said like 5 or so seasons before he left,
Yeah, around that.
just seemed to be kind of drained by the time Stephen Moffat took over. Maybe he kept it going with the first like season or 2 with Matt Smith, which I seem to enjoy. But after that, it seemed like the flavor was gone. It seemed like there was no
Bit of a
like
chore.
Yeah, there was no care for the characters, the companions. It was just, okay, we're going on the mission and we're gonna see what happens, and maybe something wacky will happen. So
Maybe not.
yeah, usually maybe not. There was one season for me, it was really rough. I think once we started getting into Matt Smith, I had just kind of given up because of Clara. I did not like her as a companion.
Wasn't that Peter Capaldi?
He inherited Clara. She was kind of like a switchover.
I don't remember that. Fine.
Yeah, at the very end, there was Amy Pond and Rory Williams.
Remember them?
And then they left. They had something sad, or maybe not. And then Clara happened. And I think the problem was Stephen Moffat was like trying to focus too much on Clara. And, she was really unrelatable because she would have one life and she would have a different life. And there was nothing to anchor yourself onto with her character. And then then Stephen Moffat tried to introduce Lady Vastra, I believe. She was like a lizard Victorian woman, and she had a lover, and she had a butler, and I was just like, no, I'm out. I can't. It just wasn't clicking with me anymore.
I mean, I will say, I get the folk are excited that this guy's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But what are his seasons thought of as great because it was all new, we were exploring some new territory. Like, it might just be the show, as any show gets older and kind of starts exhausting things, it usually, runs out of creative juices a bit. And you can rejuvenate it, as Doctor Who does.
Right.
But I guess I wouldn't expect a show to just be like, popular, everybody loves it now, forever and ever. Because, like, it's still gonna... They've still put some miles on that thing.
Yeah, you can only do Daleks, you can only have so many times. Cybermen, you can only have so many times. And the Doctor's story, you can only add on to so many times. But, like I was saying...
How much more dastardly can the Daleks be?
Yeah. So I was saying, I think if we have a real companion-focused season next time, we've got the new comedian guy as a companion, Graham and Ryan are gone, so we've got Yaz left over. There's going to be a brand new Doctor as well. So it's really like, in most senses, a clean slate. And so now it'll be up to Russell T Davies to really bring some life into those companions. Because to me, Yaz and Ryan and Graham really had no personality either. They always just seem to be a little too dependent on the doctor. Like, oh my God, I love the doctor and my life is like miserable without her. What am I going to do? And it's like, chill, do something else, you know? So yeah, I don't know if he's going to turn it around completely. I think he will bring some fresh ideas in here. It was his, you know, brainchild in the beginning. So,
It was, yeah.
man.
And it's a cool internet story. It's just like, this kind of thing just does not happen.
Yeah, the internet wins. Well, I mean, if this is what we were asking for, we'll see, you know, if it ends up being, you know, like the glory days, like the old days.
It won't.
But it's a trial to see for sure.
Very nice. And this week, we didn't really have like a what are we watching section because there was so much news. But are you watching anything, Mia, really quick?
Am I watching anything? Ooh, I am almost caught up on What We Do in the Shadows. I saw the casino episode. That was so good. And actually,
this is science. This is a turtle.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that episode. And I saw Shang-Chi again in theater. Shang-Chi.
Yeah?
It is still #1 in the box office. Could not beat Dear Evan Hansen. Or Dear Evan Hansen cannot beat Shang-Chi. So that'll be fun to see how box office plays out.
Still made less money than Black Widow. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah, it is.
Although it is like banned in China. Or, they're not letting it play in China.
That might be because China's a huge market. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Venom is coming out next week.
That, like, obviously it's Chinese characters in it, and that's purposeful in part of it because like Disney wants to appeal to, again, as many folk as possible, and China is a huge market. Like I remember Iron Man 3 when the story was like they kind of inserted scenes for the Chinese version that involved more Chinese characters. I think it was in Age of Ultron too. So they're thinking about this.
Yeah.
And when they try to really make a movie with actual Chinese characters set in China, that's the one that gets banned.
Yeah, oopsie doopsie. Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure Disney really has a checklist, and you know they kind of have like
Yes, they do.
I don't want to get too involved in the politics of this, but it still is entertainment. So I'm sure they do have an ambassador or someone like that to check on the script or to check on the editing So to me, it is still kind of funny that it is not cleared in China, despite all their efforts, because I honestly don't think they would make a movie unless it would get cleared by China because it's just such a huge market.
Well, I mean, it's so. I'm not sure they could like clear it first because you know.
Oh no, you're right.
When the finished thing comes, like they make a decision then. Like they're you know, tyrannical governments are kind of volatile like that. Just
it's gonna be the first fan-sided podcast to get banned. It's freedom of speech. We're protected by the First Amendment. We have a constitution.
And they aren't.
What is that supposed to mean? So what is that supposed to mean? Who's not?
They don't have that. They don't have
you're
First
right.
Amendment.
I was protecting myself just because of what
we're
saying.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, of course we are, but yes. And in China, there was the First Amendment, and they can do things like, I don't like his mustache. Banned.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's complicated, but Disney, keep on trying. Disney, you'll get it, you'll crack it, maybe. I have no idea. Anyway, let's go on to the WiC News Lightning Round.
Pew, pew, pew.
Sorry, that was too quick. I know. Sorry.
Here comes the thunder. Yay.
Crash, kablam! Where we go through some of the big stories of the week that we couldn't fit into the main show and get 20 seconds apiece to give our thoughts on them. Mia, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. All right. The first story is okay. Chris Pratt is playing Super Mario, Jack Black as Bowser, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and so on in the Super Mario Brothers movie. Mia, your thoughts?
Yahoo! Well, listen, you know, they were really reaching for this cat. I really don't know how to feel about it. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. You know, even I can do like a Yahoo, yippee sort of thing. So I think Chris Pratt could do it. It just seems like a jumble of actors. I know. Anya Taylor-Joy is Peach.
I would talk about that more. I really do.
We could go on and on and on.
I will say that there are some good reaction videos out there of people just losing their minds in laughter as that goes through. There's a guy named Arlo. Holy crap. I've never seen it. I just do the contagious laughter. Okay, sorry.
Okay. All right. J. Michael Straczynski is rebooting Babylon 5 for the CW.
Yeah, Babylon 5, really influential sci-fi show from the 90s. It kind of popularized like serialized fantasy storytelling. Like we have a lot to thank for that. It was a cult show, big cult hit, but again, made back in the time when it was like, here's $5, make a show. This could be big. I mean, like it's kind of a reboot, but he is a pretty passionate guy, so I'm interested at the very least. Cool. We're not going to do well this time. I'm too hyped.
Yeah.
All right. This is another tough one. Mia, Marvel is suing the families of authors and artists like Stan Lee. Their copyrights are about to run out on these characters, and they don't want their heirs to have any ownership share in them.
Yeah, just the way you say that doesn't sound good, right? And I think this is a bad look for Marvel and Disney, especially with Scarlett. They don't want to share their money, and they don't want to give their money where money is due. So it's like, well, why wouldn't you want to, help out these families who have these, own these characters or should own them?
They'll get less money.
Yeah, exactly. So they did have one case where they lost to Jack Kirby, so...
All right. Ooh, this one's good too.
Oh, okay. We have a photo question, Dan. We have Succession Season 3 character posters.
Okay. I am not a shipper. I do not ship things. But these posters did something to me. Like, this show is very intense. I ship all these people. And it just looks good. I just want to watch it. I want to watch this series. It's such a good series. And the energy is just great. And it's funny. And it's dramatic. And those people, some of them, might get it on.
Ooh, season 3.
All right. It feels so short. I'm so excited. All right, Mia. Amazon officially orders a spinoff of The Boys. This one set it kind of like a superhero college.
Yeah. I've been enjoying the world of The Boys. Again, this is this whole, should they have a spinoff or should they just leave it alone? I really think it remains to be seen until we get the spinoff. Superhero college, it would be interesting because the way these superheroes are brought up to be brand names and be run under a corporation and all that good stuff. So, I mean, I'd be interested. I don't think I would not watch it. You get what I'm saying.
I tell you what you're saying.
Okay, this was fascinating. I saw Dan, William Shatner might be heading into outer space with Blue Origin.
It's on brand, isn't it? I mean, he's 90 years old. Captain Kirk could be the oldest man ever to go into space.
Wow.
Although this is the fake Blue Origin Amazon space flight where you like break the atmosphere for 8 seconds, then go back down. But it counts. Like what? Do you want to go into the freaking space station? It's cool. I hope he does it. I hope there's a documentary crew filming him. I hope it's a great moment. It wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Excellent.
All right, Mia. Another photo question. What do you think of the first image of Game of Thrones veteran Peter Dinklage as Cyrano de Bergerac in the new movie musical, Cyrano?
Yeah, this was something totally new for me. I have never heard of this before, but oh my gosh, I love Peter Dinklage, and I love musicals. So can I please hear Peter Dinklage singing some songs?
I'm pretty curious.
He's a pretty good singer. I feel like I've heard him sing before, or maybe not, but I can just imagine that voice. He's got a great voice, and he looks really cool. Okay, final one. This one was pretty exciting. So we have another picture. The first image from HBO's The Last of Us.
Yeah, that is Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey as Joel and Ellie. Zombie apocalypse series coming to HBO, adapted by a very popular video game. Looking at a down plane. I mean, it's like hard to sell a post-apocalyptic zombie show in a world flooded with them, but this is kind of the prestige post-apocalyptic zombie show. At least that's what we're going to try to go for. I'm curious what we're going to try and do. I feel like we just I was really amped today because we were back in the studio for the first time in a while, and I just didn't have all the things I could say about these things. I wanted to talk more. That Mario stuff, man.
I don't know what to say. It is an alphabet soup of names. Fred Armisen is a character too.
Cranky Kong.
Yeah.
Cranky Kong. Anya Taylor-Joy is Pete, which is like it's they just look like they just talk to anybody in Hollywood and say like just name a name. It just seems so random. Which I mean, it's fine. Like they're going to make a Hollywood movie. It just didn't seem like there's a ton of thought like put into like.
Yeah.
But then who are those characters anyway? It was weird. It's this weird confluence of like video game world, which for a long time doesn't have these kind of folk, and just like sort of like the really just most obvious Hollywood you could think of.
Yeah,
just like slapped together.
Yeah, the only person missing was like maybe The Rock. Like I'm surprised
Yes,
they didn't
absolutely.
drop him
That
in
would
there.
make a lot of sense. Like The Rock as
Yeah.
Goomba.
Oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna say something. Oh, Jack Black is Bowser. Yeah. I can only go, Mario, get out of there. And he did like a rock,
Oh God,
You're gonna face my wrath.
Remember when they debuted like a Sonic the Hedgehog movie? The internet got so mad at how he looked that they went and redesigned him completely.
Oh yeah, I do have faith in Illumination. They're a great animation studio.
They're the Minions things, right?
All the Minions. So I do actually think the movie is going to be good. They have not disappointed me yet as far as animated films because they're kind of like the counter Disney, counter Pixar, at least animation wise, different movies, different stories. But oh man, yeah, that cast is something else.
I mean, I don't think I'll see it. I'm not planning to, but I grew up with Mario, and
Yeah.
I can't not disconnect my feelings from this.
So you're
Because
sticking
a lot of Mario as a
with,
kid.
what is that, Bob Hoskins and Charlie Sambo?
I mean, at least that one was like so out of the blue weird that I expected a little bit more.
Yeah.
The donkey video was like Whoopi Goldberg as
Yeah.
Yoshi.
Yeah.
Funny. Okay, yes, it does have us worked up. You're right, Christian. I'm worked up about this, but out of time and not really our wheelbox anyway. Wheelhouse. Thanks so much for watching. We do this little show of ours every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time here on the Winter is Coming Facebook page and also the Winter is Coming YouTube page. And we are available in podcast form. You can download us at Google Play, iTunes, wherever podcasts are available. If you want super awesome extra articles, videos, prizes, I think we're going to have a new one coming up very, very shortly for our WiC Club members. You can join the WiC Club, which is in the description of the video and also in the chat here, just in case you're interested. As always, thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back here next week, next Wednesday. Have a lovely week, and see you then.